Well, I'm really excited to be here today and to share with you the 13 things that have changed on the Model Y since we took delivery of our very first one back in April. So as you probably know by now, we ordered our new 2021 Tesla Model Y back in May and took delivery in June. In that 1 year time since April of 2020, there have been a number of changes to this car. Now, that wasn't the leading driver of why we went ahead and sold our original Model Y for the new one. There were a number of factors, but there are a lot of benefits that we got from getting the new 2021 Model Y versus the 2020 that we had, which was the initial production run car. So like I said, I believe there's 13 items. These are the 13 that I discovered after taking delivery of our 2021 Model Y. Now, in addition, there's some other benefits that we got in the car, most notably build quality. I truly believe that the quality of this car is far superior to the quality of the car we had. And in addition, the price has changed substantially over that year, as you're probably well aware of at this point. Just in 2021, I believe we've had 8 price changes, which is crazy. But the point is, the price went down substantially back in 2020, and it has gradually come back up to now the price of the long-range all-wheel drive Model Y is the same price today as it was the day it officially started making deliveries. So let's take a look at the 13 items that have changed since 2020 in the Model Y. I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Phantom Wallet. Phantom Wallet offers premium wallet designs with an aluminum chassis with options of wood, leather, and carbon fiber finishes. Grab the card you need with a quick flip of the lever. RFID and NFC protection are built in, ensuring a safe and secure alternative to traditional options. Make sure to use code BTG to save 10% on your order. So starting the list off, the mirrors are now auto dimming, and this is one of the features that I really like because headlights on taller cars do blare in my eyes. Now you can get your windows tinted and that will help some. However, having these auto dim rear mirrors on the sides is a really nice feature to have. Next, Tesla did implement a double pane window or a laminated window, at least on the front 2 doors. This does help with soundproofing, and I think it's a nice improvement over the sound overall in the previous car. One of the things that Tesla did that I think is a brilliant idea is they moved the USB drive into the glove box. The reason why this is such a great idea is if you're in the unfortunate situation where a thief has targeted your car, they no longer have access to that USB drive if they know where to look. In the glove box, it can be locked as long as you set a code on the screen. They're not going to be able to even try to attempt to enter a code as long as the car is locked. So because of that, having the USB in the glove box is a nice security feature so that your Sentry mode footage is secure should something happen to your car. Of course, the most notable change that happened with the Model Y and the Model 3, of course, is that center console did indeed get an update. The previous center console was okay, but the problem is with it being that panel black, it was susceptible to scratches and was unsightly. It collected dust and never really looked great. A lot of companies made a lot of money on providing covers for that center console. Now you don't have to worry about that. It comes standard with a new flat finish that is a lot less prone to scratches and looks a lot better overall. Also, the charging pads up top do accommodate phones just a little bit better, at least in my experience. Depending on the phone case that you have, my iPhone 12 Pro Max would not charge on our previous center console. On the new one, I have no problems. So that was a nice improvement as well. Now, the most exciting update for my wife was that new steering wheel. Of course, the scroll wheels are metal now, and that's okay, but the heating element in the steering wheel is really where the magic is. So now these cars come with a heated steering wheel, and if you live in a cold climate, you're really going to like having this. Even if you've never had one before, you don't know what you're missing out on. Now, if you're in a warmer climate, you probably don't care, but we absolutely love having heated steering wheels here in Indiana during the winter time. When we took delivery of this car, one of the things I wanted to find out what battery pack is in that car. Now, of course, the performance model was reported to have a larger battery pack back in late 2020. However, the long range had continued to have the 78 kilowatt hour battery pack for quite a bit of time. Now, sometime in 2021, between February and May, they did end up rolling out a bigger battery pack. So we found out that our car does have that bigger battery pack, and I did confirm it on a couple other cars as well. So Model Ys now have that 82 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now, is Tesla going to roll out additional range with that new battery pack? That's yet to be determined, but it very well could be coming. They could just keep that additional buffer to maintain your full charge range for a longer period of time. We don't know yet, but hopefully we'll get some additional range out of that battery pack. Of course, it wasn't that long ago that Tesla did announce they were removing the radar in the front of the Model 3 and the Model Y. They're going to a vision-only system, and although this was always the plan, they weren't quite ready for it. However, with large stockpiles of Model Y spotted in the parking lot and the chip shortage, there's been a lot of speculation of why they went ahead and rolled out the no radar Model Y and 3. I don't know what the right answer is there, and I'm not going to speculate too much, but this car does not have the radar that the previous generation did. So far, I cannot say that I've noticed that autopilot functions any worse, but there are some restrictions. The biggest restriction that's still in the car is having that 3 car length distance that's a minimum when you're on the highway. So usually when we're rolling down the highway, either 1 or 2 car lengths is what I usually keep it at. So having that 3 car length is kind of annoying because people are more eager to cut in front of you. One of the changes that I have to laugh at how much feedback has come from is the removal of the lumbar support in the passenger seat. Now, Tesla justified it by saying they looked at the data logs and it was one of the features that was almost never used. I have a theory of why it was almost never used, because the front passenger is probably the same person every time, or most of the time. Once they set it once, that's it. They don't set it again. So unfortunately, because of that, Tesla said you don't need it. So they removed that as well. It's not a big deal, although for some of you who are used to having lumbar support and being able to change that, that may be a problem for you. I have heard that you can retrofit a lumbar support in the passenger seat, but I don't know details on that. But you can look into it if it is something that's actually really important for you. Another thing that I really like is Tesla changed all the panel black, not just on the center console, but on the door controls, on the windows. It is a much better look across the board. It's nice that it's a more cohesive look when everything ties together and it's all that same finish throughout. Another interesting change that Tesla made was they added another sprayer nozzle onto the windshield wipers. Now, if you have a first generation Model Y, you know that by using the sprayers, it doesn't do a great job, especially higher up on the wiper. With the new ones, they added another sprayer and moved everything around a little bit, so it does a much better job of getting good spray across your windshield should you need it. Of course, sometime in Q3 or Q4 of 2020, the pedestrian warning system did come out. Now, this was a speaker on the outside of the car, which you could play music through, but when you put the car in reverse, you'll notice a very distinct sound. So this is so that pedestrians who have vision issues or can't see you because of a blind spot, they can at least potentially hear you. Now, it is kind of fun because you can play music through it and make the car fart, things like that. So it's a good time. At some point mid-2020, Tesla did change the risers on the front 2 seats. I don't know why Tesla did this, but at some point those front risers did indeed change in shape just a little bit. The only reason this matters is because if you get floor mats, you have to specify now which risers you have. So moving forward, it's not a big deal. So if you do have a first generation Model Y, you are going to have different floor mats in the front of your car. One of the more substantial changes that happened in the Model Y since the original version, they did indeed implement and roll out the rear casting. Now, the front casting is still not present, and we don't anticipate seeing that until the Giga Austin Model Y launches, but the rear casting is now there. It's really hard to get images of this, but if you take your wheel off, you can see that it is a casted frame in the very back of the car. Also, if you remove the carpet and the sub trunk and all that stuff, you could probably see it as well. But this is one step closer to that ultimate 3-cast system where it's a rear casting, a front casting, and then right in the middle of casting where it's going to house the new 4680 battery cells. This is the future of the Model Y, and it's going to provide a number of benefits to the Model Y once it's fully implemented. And then, like I said, overall, the car has had substantial improvements, obviously in quality. So throughout the production line, they have obviously made some improvements to deliver a much better fit and finish. In the early days, I used to do update videos on what did the quality look like as deliveries were being unloaded off the truck. Fortunately, that's not needed anymore these days. Yeah, there's still some things here and there, but I didn't have to have anything addressed except for a stain on a seat because of the seat belts, which is a known issue at Tesla right now. But I didn't have to have gaps fixed or anything like that. So Tesla has certainly stepped up their game in the year it's been since our original Model Y. So this is all encouraging news. There's a lot of new updates, and I'm interested to know from you. If you watched our previous video where we sold our Model Y for quite a bit of money and showed you what you could probably get for yours if you didn't have as many miles as us, I'm interested to know if you did end up selling your car and if you're looking forward to get some of these new features in the car. In addition, the Giga Austin Model Y should be coming any time now. So I'm hoping to see more details on what all that's going to entail in the very near future. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Of course, if you did, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram @BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.